last cigarette that I know of.
Favorite rapper is Gucci. Did you know we had this? It's funny how much weed there is in this car that we don't know about.
Yeah,
But it's better than having it around the house.
that's true.
So many benefits to not having a big abode.
Yeah.
Abode is a trigger word for some. I don't know why I said that. Oh, it's one of those forget everything I just thought of things.
This bass down here, it's literally doing the programming.
You're so right. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh. That like
GPS signal
scratched
lost.
my brain. That you just deprogram something.
Should play some flute or something. Dot. Like that.
I'm just saying, like that was like what you just did right there was like
Nice.
it felt real good.
I hate to be that guy, but that's not a coincidence.
Wisconsin. There was a Wisconsin sign, like I guess a highway to get there. Definitely not immediately sweating
Yeah, me either. Hands are not sweaty.
or like straight up frowning.
Why would that 70s show be placed in Wisconsin? Why would it take place in that?
I'm not going to question this right now. I have a job to do. Let's listen to a new song. How about you want? Oh, not safe. We can go with safe option. I don't mind. It's important not to have headaches. Like a tenor bass is good like that, not like battered speakers. No, no.
I realize that anybody who listens to music, like, at the level of your eardrums snapping,
Is a fucking system.
yeah.
For sure.
There's
like that
no-
dude where his car was rattling.
Both those dudes where their car was literally, like, just like,
That's some mind control ass shit.
dude,
For real though.
there's no way you don't, like, that's at a volume that, like,
You're
you should
literally
not-
hurting. Like your head is gonna be hurting. Of course.
And there's a reason why their heads don't hurt at that level.
Yeah, because they've been traumatized.
You're...
Did you just say you're?
I say you're...
Why?
That was just something from, like, people would say at Woodward.
Yeah, but you don't say it.
I don't.
Was that from like Boogie?
I believe so.
Is Boogie near the front?
I think Boogie's always near the front. At least somewhere, like...
He's always like somewhere near the presentation front. He cannot
That's-
really go too far back, pretty much.
That's why I can always, like, somehow make jokes. Like, just be a little... teeny
Silly.
bit silly.
Right, right. Maybe chill out. I don't have time for that. Close windows. I bet you that you could take a low kick bong rip
But I could.
in blowing to here even. And it could contain tobacco as well, or it could be extra spicy. Yeah, what do you think?
Sounds good.
I like to give you marijuana. I know it's program and it's also like program like sex, so I know the fun.
Sometimes you can just use some programs to unprogram.
Exactly. Or you can use the programs to have fun.
Yes. What?
GPS signal
I don't
lost.
want to know.
Okay.
We need to stay focused and not do anything
When
like
alters look each other in the eyes, and it's not good.
when we look at each other in the eyes and like both of the people in the presentation are fully aware that we are not the ones looking at each other, like just now, right? Like literally just our eyes are being used by like the alters who are very clearly familiar with each other. How fucking trippy!
Just weird.
See, right when we start getting going,
4 point something. Okay.
we are exiting at 349.
I'm good now.
And we're the sketchy ones. Holy shit.
They blew it. That's a cop.
At least
Maybe
that's less sketchy than just someone pulling through.
Also, around Chicago is just another one of those. It's like Ohio. Like, if you're gonna traffic shit, you're coming through here.
Yeah, because you have to go through Chicago to get to Michigan from the west. I need to take green blanket. Oh. And be prepared for anything.
Good thing about Chicago is they're usually not too concerned with little shit.
Yeah, that's the thing about trafficking areas is that, like, people like us are not important.
Also, the murder rate here is like.
And I think that murder is more impactful for society than addiction.
Yes.
At least per capita. You know what I'm curious about? I'm curious about all the abilities we have that we do not have access to. The valuable abilities, skills, hard skills.
There's a book. I don't know what it is. I know someone wrote something that is
GPS signal lost.
There's something that is written that is like not a magic book, but like something that gives you maybe a piece of information
Yes.
to further understand yourself and
Yes. I am able to do this now. He must use book. Find book. No, none of this. Scroll. No.
In 2 miles, take exit 349 toward Wisconsin.
Pimps, whores, and patrons of virtue. A kaleidoscope of poignant and entertaining satires, anecdotes, essays, and ideologies about the human condition and spirit.
In half a mile, take exit 349 toward Wisconsin.
Praise for pimps, whores, and patrons of virtue. A wild intellectual ride.
Take exit 349, then keep right to continue on exit 294.
Buckle your seatbelt. Stephen J. Manning.
Keep right to continue on exit 294.
About that name. Like, I'm familiar with him in a known fear level.
Manning, like Peyton Manning. That family has always been weird to me.
The family gives me bad energy, but he gives me good.
Who?
This person who wrote this book. Kicking off, this book is all about the human condition and spirit, in its spellbinding complexity. It cannot be successfully charted or graphed or summarized. I endeavor to anecdotally delve into the wonderful and oft incomprehensible world of the human essence. Please enjoy the stroll through my satires, anecdotes, stories, observations, reflections, ideologies, and musings. It's all about people, but for the reverent and irreverent people we encounter, this whole living thing would be so simple. Pimps, whores, and patrons of virtue comprises many years and millions of life and real miles of intellectual exophthalmia. Life experiences, lamp-filled passports, a collection of interesting and interestingly boring people. Answers to the next question and the next and next, making friends and nemesis, venting people and things good, bad, ugly, and irrelevant, facts, factoids, and more. I am equally inspired and troubled by the belief that there are 9 patrons of virtue for every virtuous person. There are precious few people among us who are genuinely virtuous. How many do you know, honestly? There are some who ply at that but cannot entirely bypass situational ethical detours and moral ambiguity. That leaves most of us to a lifetime of work to become mere patrons of virtue. That is the righteous among us. I have painted a veritable kaleidoscope of people around us. Pimps, whores, and the rarest of species, patrons of virtue. The word whore is not intended to be salacious or to provoke or to be pretentious. The word, looked at as descriptive rather than a noun, is by definition entirely pejorative. Not a distinction without a difference, but I do find ubiquitous instances of scale. Believe it or not, in our world there are multiple degrees of whoredom. This book is devoted to showcasing the trees of these species in their blooming glory and incomprehensible worst. The cynical view of life is that it is a complex series of major disappointments and minor triumphs. It can be one long, overwrought in many respects, often nerve-wracking, exhausting event. Best enjoy the triumphs, assuming you actually know you're having those. And it all makes sense. Common sense. Now, ain't that a big load of crap? If I believed that, I would toss this keyboard into the Pacific. In fact, I know with 100% certainty that common sense is what tells us that the Earth is flat. By and large, we hope and pray and labor if we get sufficiently focused for infrequently redeeming or at least affirming moments of acceleration. Bottom line, life is not a dress rehearsal. How do we get through an ordinary day? Love, humor, labor, and a valiant attempt at balance. As you read on, I hope for introspection, some some extrospection, some healthy laugh out loud laughs. I pray not buyer's remorse. If you think my stuff is occasionally just surface scratching cynical, well, if you want genuine depth of thought, unfailingly coherence and clarity, call Victor Davis Hansen. Otherwise, I'm your guy.